Yeah.
All
right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, genders, species and cultures, we are here with Andrew Wolfe.
On August 10th.
Yeah.
Yeah, mate. August 13.
Wolfie opened for Jim Jefferies, so we talk a little bit about that. He's extremely proud and he wanted to talk about it. So,
strangely enough, we talk a bit about mental health as well.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything. Swanee got it right. I've done my job. I love that bit. I've done what I need to. You do it. You're the host.
Wolfie tries to get away with saying retard by making it Spanish.
We realise I am now single because of these two.
Yeah. So enjoy it. Retard.
No.
Well, let's get hard.
I didn't say it like that.
Let's get hard.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast.
I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host,
Daniel Jelby.
And Cameron Branch.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get hard.
Here we are with Andrew Wolfe. Or should I say Andrew Tate?
Dude, this is
Andrew
too
Tate
loud,
Wolfe.
man. You're too loud.
Oh, you want to turn down? Okay.
Yeah, it's gone crazy.
Are we banking this one?
Which one do you reckon we go first?
Well, we'll see which one's better. Hey, Wolf.
This one's not going to be good, man. I need to get mad.
What are we going to talk about?
I heard you
I don't
guys.
know. What are we going to talk about?
No, we need to make a decision because we'll have to say, is this one going out today or...
What do you want, Wolf?
Well, I'll put the date on it, so you're fucked. It's 3rd of August now at 11 o'clock.
Okay, so we're putting this one out today and then Jared.
So if it's released any later, it's been stalled on. We recorded them both on the 3rd of August.
Actually, no, let's
We'll see, because if Gandry needs to plug any shows...
Yeah, no, we'll do Gandry this week.
What's he plugging, man? Is he doing it?
I don't know.
He's on showcases. Why is he helping other businesses? Got to plug the lounge thing?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're getting your set fee. Who gives a fuck? Is he trying to plug a showcase?
That's
I'm
true.
Act 9.
Don't know what you
showcase. Come down. Let's market it.
I don't know what you were talking about. He was on last week.
Was he?
Yeah, last week.
Dude, it's the 3rd of August. Let me just clarify. It's 11:16 on the 3rd of August. We'll see when it's released, because my pod gets released like months after.
Yeah.
And
well,
if you
whose
lose-
fault's that, Wolfie?
No,
The editing of it. But it loses, like,
What's
you're
the
talking about
editing's
you're
name?
talking about Amber Heard, and it's like people are over it now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Done.
then it looks like we're late adopters, that I've listened to every other pod. And he's like, oh, yeah, you've listened to every other pod. And now you're like, at the tail. You know, like the mate that only gets things at late?
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, yeah, Amber Heard.
Well, it's not actually out of date. She just sold her house to pay Johnny Depp.
Did she?
You said that today.
Did she
On
have to
August
pay?
3rd. Yeah, today. She sold her house for 8-point-something mil.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
got to pay Johnny.
really?
Dude, I think
Yeah.
you always got to believe the court, though. Like, do you know what I mean?
course.
Because I've seen other people in denial, and I'm like, they went through a whole trial. You just got to accept the outcome.
But it's weird that she got found right in England and wrong in America.
Yeah, it is weird.
So-
But they were suing the media outlet there.
Oh, were they?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Whereas wasn't it in
wasn't
the US? It
against
was
each other.
directly about what
Defamation.
Depp had said. Whereas in the UK, it was what the tabloid had said.
Okay. Yeah.
I thought.
Oh, one of the ways he...
So
he
one's
couldn't-
the tabloid, and they're
Yeah.
like, well, he didn't defame because someone had told them
Yeah.
that fact. Whereas I think in the US, it was, has Depp defamed you?
Yeah.
Or vice
And
versa.
now she's in Amber debt.
Do you know what I mean?
Hey.
Because you can't really sue the paper if his intimate partner's saying he beat the fuck out of me. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're allowed to then quote that in media.
Yeah.
You'd think.
I understand how it happens, but I couldn't believe how much attention that got and the lack of attention the Ghislaine Maxwell trial got.
Yeah, it was insane, man.
Like, you'd think
The
one...
who?
Do you know what I mean? Like,
but do you know what I find crazy? Do you follow Clementine Ford?
I know who you're talking about.
So she's still in there, like, vilifying. But I'm like, they're all bullies at the end of the day.
Who's she vilifying?
Well, she's going after Depp, but then they say nasty things just about his appearance. Oh, look at him, he's homeless.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just straight bullying. Do you know what I mean? They're meant to be elevated.
Yeah.
And then why are you attacking his having a big laugh, going, oh, he's a fucking...
how he looks.
He looks like a piss-stained pants, loser.
yeah.
I'm like... We're meant to... They're representing that they're above that.
Yeah.
So why don't they fucking act like that? You don't laugh at someone because they
Isn't
look...
Name calling.
Isn't that
Yeah,
like-
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They
Act as
they
in-
say, oh, you shouldn't do that. But then I'm like, then they drop to the same thing and have a big laugh, name calling, going, look how shit he looks in that photo. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, you're doing the very thing you hate.
Surely that's when you've won. When they start picking on appearances and like vanity stuff.
Unless you're Donald Trump.
But dude, I've been trying to say that because
look at Pissy Boy Johnny and I stepped on a bee herd.
But don't you think, like, because they come aggressive at guys that are misogynist, and I'm like, if they just showed empathy, the guy would break down within 10 minutes and burst into tears, and she would just be breastfeeding him and puts him in a cot. Do you know what I mean? If you basically, instead of going, you fucking pig, you just go, I love you, man. I know you're hurt. And he'd just be like, I love you too. No girl will fuck me. A woman fucked me off, and then she could just basically whip out her breast and just milk, and he would just be like, he'd be back in a nappy, just like cuckooing. Don't you think?
It's so obvious.
Love wins
on social media.
Love always wins. And that's what I'm saying. So they go hard at guys, but I'm like, if it was just sympathy and just go, I feel for you, man. Like, I feel that you're hurting.
Yeah.
They would almost every troll that's going like, fuck you, fucking women in the kitchen would just cry and going like, oh, mama.
I've been doing it on, and I think Delby does it from time to time on our social media. We, from time to time, troll, and prod, but from time to time we actually go, okay, well, show us why you think,
dude, and that's the thing. If you respond,
you show,
and you just go, I love and feel for you, man, and I care, and I know where you're at right now. Yeah. And they'll respond and go like, look, I was lashing out. I did like some of the apps. And you go like, I feel empathy for you, and I've been in the same place where I felt lost and like depressed and not included socially. And I'm like, they immediately turn. Because Gary Vee does a lot of that.
Yeah.
Where he meets it with like, look, I appreciate and love you, you know, where you're at. And they don't know how they go like, fuck you, cunt, you're an ugly cunt. And you go, I have nothing but love for you, man. Yeah. Like, how do they do? It's the ultimate judo role of showing compassion to another human being. They'll always turn nice.
I've been doing it in a lot of situations lately, and it's it takes its toll though. Like I did it too much for a while. Towards the end of last year, I sort of like, yep, I understand where you're coming from.
What are you doing? You're at a bar and a guy's going to bash you and you go, who hurt you, boy?
I was just thinking that. I was like, this guy was robbing me, was stabbing me.
A guy's trying to fight you and you try to give him a hug.
No, I had a few different like situations going on at the same time towards the end of last year, and it was all becoming
What were they, man? I want to know the actual things.
I was actually...
What were you doing? How many situations?
I was being a good person and just taking it on the chin for the sake of everything.
Yeah, man.
And someone asked me randomly at a wedding how I've been going, and I said, it's been a lot. That's what all it took, and I fucking lost it.
That's what I'm saying,
it's
man.
Like it's hard. It's good to show the empathy. It's good to be like the bigger person sometimes, but fuck, got to be careful because I did not express my own feelings sometimes, and then I fucking just lost it.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, anyone with anger has just not been heard.
Yeah.
And then if you show it, not been angered. But I'm saying if you show empathy, I reckon almost everyone that's angry is about 3 minutes away from crying. If you actually show them concern.
I've been that angry. I've cried before.
Have you?
Really?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like,
I wanted choc milk and they ran out.
Mate, you should.
Dude, you don't need like martial arts to defend yourself. Dude, you literally don't need martial art to defend yourself.
You need fast legs.
You bump into someone in a car, he's swearing, and you get out and just give him a hug. You can do the Clementine and just end up breastfeeding. Do you know what I mean?
Or you just need a gun.
No, well,
That's what America
I think I said this. It might have been last time you were on. I said this to someone. Someone was following me behind. I was on my phone. This was ages ago. I was on my phone while driving, and they were pulled up next to me going, get off your fucking phone. This is bullshit. You're endangering everyone on the road. And I turned to him and said, you're right. I'm so sorry. I won't do that again. Put my phone down. And he was like, well, yeah. And then just fucking zoomed off.
I saw Wolfie do that. And I said, stop closing your eyes.
Yeah. We did this on the last day.
Yeah.
I get annoyed with people like interfering. Like, they're not part of the road police.
But that's But that's how the road rage begins. If I had a response
Little
going, fuck
monitors.
off, cunt, like I'll do what I want. Like that's how it starts. Instead of me going, he's making a valid point.
Yeah, but it depends on your personality, man. If like we've mentioned on the pod before, but a hall monitor, I'll just go worse.
A hall monitor going.
No, because I don't like authority. And they go, don't go on your phone. And I'm like, fuck you, can't. Like,
I'll film
I
this
go
right
worse.
now.
This is what we've been doing with like Scotty, we've been doing OT stuff, and we've been talking about a few little things that she's
Is that
having issue
because
with.
like
You create well, we've
using her hands
We've
and
basically
stuff?
been just authority saying you can't do this, you can do this. Instead, now we've started giving her a bit of choice. Usually, the option's still like what we wanted her to do anyway. Like, hey, do you want the blue pants or the pink pants? The whole idea was you're wearing pants.
Yeah.
But we've
That's
given her
something Wolfie struggles with.
Yeah, I do struggle, man.
but it's not authority. It's not put on the blue pants. It's like, which ones do you want? You're giving her a bit of choice. And you don't have to do that with everything. But
Yeah, and
like,
it's a fake choice.
well,
right?
it just make otherwise.
It's like what the government do.
Otherwise,
You
Dude,
can
it
get the
happens a
jab
lot.
or you can keep
put
your
in
job.
a scenario and
constantly.
it happens all the time. Do you know, like even, do you know, at a shop, you end up saying, I love that shirt. There are only 3, but there's a million shirts. Do you know what I mean? And then you narrowed your focus and you go like, I like the red one and the blue one. You probably liked a purple
Wolfie,
one, but you weren't showing
you'll
it.
be surprised to realise that's what a big chunk of teaching is. As
About
a
what?
teacher, whenever anybody's misbehaving, you're like, all right, you can do your work, you can choose to do your work, or you can choose to come back at lunch and do it.
Yeah.
Really, I want you to do your work.
Yes.
But you put the choice on them and they go, oh, no, I'll do it now. So,
Yeah.
So, or you,
And you've narrowed their options
That's it.
because they could have just bashed
and
you
they
and
can,
done
but they
nothing.
can choose.
But then it's given them a
They
Then
could
I
have
hug-
beaten
then
the
I
fuck
hug
out of
them
you and
and
done
then it
nothing.
wins.
But it's given them a sense of control and choice in a situation where they generally feel like they're constantly being told what to do by their parents, by the law, by
But
the
isn't
schools.
OT for like
government,
motor problems?
Yeah, but OT's also because she's socially like a few things as well. Like
Imagine
she'll
if your
have
kid didn't
meltdowns
have an opposable thumb. They're like, dude, the problem is monkeys evolved opposable thumbs. And your daughter does not have one. Which means... No, but I'm saying like, they go, she's subspecies. They go, we've checked chromosomes and she's
no,
closer
that
to a
might-
lemur.
That might be
Than
true.
a human being.
It might be true because Branchy was born with extra ones.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's got extra fingers.
Like, he had extra fingers, legit.
So you don't have opposable thumbs, man.
Wolfie, did you know that?
Do you know I had
Yeah.
6 fingers on each
Why
hand?
didn't you keep it? It could have been like Futurama, like a progression.
Evolution.
Could have been like a guitar and things
Oh,
like that.
dude.
Imagine guitar.
Imagine
riffs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why the mutations are there for genetic variants, and it might actually save us in when
Imagine
the
girls.
apocalypse
You'd be getting places that girls have never been touched.
I guarantee I wouldn't use them.
What were they both? Were they both thumbs, dude?
Mate, I've got fucking 10 fingers.
What did they look like? What
Well,
was
I
it? The third one was the sixth one a little fucking runt? Was it weird, or did it look like full finger?
It was a full finger, but attached by like when you get that young, there's no formation with the bones; they're not all connected.
So
So,
what's
they
it
literally
look
just
like?
tied a rope around it, like they tie.
But did it look like
a lamb's
like an
tail.
extra pinky,
Yeah.
or did it come off the pinky?
No, it's there. It's there on the end, like it's an extra pinky. I had a little extra pinky.
Why
but-
would you remove
So
that?
much
this
grip
is-
strength.
This is how I know I wouldn't do it. I type with 2 fingers still. So I've got all these fingers and I still type with 2. So
Dude, we've
having
spoken
the
about
extra
it.
would
Why
do
did you
nothing.
remove it? You would have been better at footy.
It's for
you could
a-
mark more balls.
I've always actually, I've been interested by this, but I think it's genuinely just for like fitting in.
Yeah, because when you go skiing and you got to put gloves on. You're like, I can't get any gloves.
Every time in Perth we go skiing,
You
I've
got
been
the-
walking around with
and
real
one
mittens.
cold extra finger.
it would fall off anyway.
Hung up.
No, you'd have to wear like baby mittens. You know,
just
like
have
they
to
don't
wear-
have
dude,
fingers in
You
baby
would
mittens.
eventually have like just a sock.
Oven
and
gloves.
Have no movement.
Oven gloves.
I never.
Yeah, you'd have oven mitts. Oven mitts on the slopes, dude.
I have no
You
idea.
got motorcycle gloves, they're oven mitts.
I
Dude, where'd they put the finger? Did they bury it? Or did they keep it?
no,
Did they have a funeral with a finger?
we kept
Your
it.
mum's got it like in a box
jar.
with your first
No,
teeth.
in
Oh,
a-
do you
then
still have it in
finger.
a jar?
No, mum and dad kept it in a jar, and then
It
we
gets
lost
rotten,
it when
dude.
we moved. So
Oh, can you
someone
imagine the person that
yeah,
finds it?
exactly, just found 2 fingers
Dude,
in a fucking jar.
Imagine that.
They're
Mixed
looking for the
up-
rest of the body. There's like a
mixed up
missing
with this-
persons case.
Oh, baby.
Mixed up with the
feet.
snaggers at a barbecue. This sausage is fucking crunchy.
Oh, I've heard of little boys' dicks. but fucking- this is
Dude, but the
ridiculous.
thing is, they rot because they don't normally let you have
Oh,
flesh.
how do you know? How do you know they
Because
rot?
I always
Wolfie?
ask when they
From
have
your collection of
surgery-
fingers.
No,
when they have surgery, you always want to keep the organ or flesh, but
Yeah.
there's etiquette. Like you can't just walk away with human flesh.
Yeah, so they put it in a jar. What's the whatever liquid?
Formaldehyde.
Yeah, formaldehyde.
Whatever the liquid they put it in, they put it in that jar, and so they lost it when they moved. So they left it in a house that they were at.
What- and what-
so literally,
what-
the new rental
But
people
dude, the
would've just
finger would have
walked
been,
in and gone,
the finger's tiny, like little,
yeah, baby fingers.
so cute, dude. Imagine if you got on a neck chain.
I don't
It'd be
think
so
they even,
cool.
from memory, I'm trying to remember Scotty, like, I don't think they even have fingernails at that sort of early age.
Well,
Do
man,
they?
they don't if they're a fucking lemur or subspecies.
They do have you do have, you're born with fingernails
yeah,
as a
maybe,
fetus.
I
You
can't-
have
I
it
can't
inside the womb.
Yeah, that's true,
Yeah.
actually. No, that's right. Yeah,
So was I was
Nah,
talking to this
man.
girl that started crying because she didn't want kids because she's like, I don't want kids. I can't imagine fingernails scratching my uterus
dude,
inside of me. She was crying in Bali.
It depends on their
She's like,
hormonal development. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, the ones that come with hair or nails.
Yeah, Italians.
It just depends of what chemicals are released. Because you know how the kid comes out and it looks like he's gone through puberty?
Yeah.
You know, with all the hair everywhere.
Yeah. Eastern
They
European
generally have the
children.
nails, but I think if they're not as many hormones, I think it's possible to come out without nails.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then they grow later.
I definitely, you definitely do because have fingernails. Because
Not all of them do,
This is
man.
another fucked up thing about my birth. So I don't know if I've told you this at all. I was born also with, so that mum gave
You were
birth.
born starved of oxygen
mum,
with a blue
yeah,
head.
so
I was.
Yeah, so
Were you
I was
really?
born dead. Yeah.
yeah, so I was born dead as well, and I had the umbilical cord wrapped around my neck and choking, blah blah blah.
He was like, "Fuck it, I'm ready
Mate.
for this world."
If you were superstitious, you're
I
like,
had-
God wanted it.
I
hey.
had jaundice. I had what's the cradle cap? So scabby head, and then as I'd come out the next day, like mum's belly hadn't gone down, and
The rest of you was inside.
Oh,
a tumor the size.
Oh,
of,
wow.
And it was my
is
unborn,
your
unborn
twin. Your twin was a tumor.
And they didn't know.
It's
And
not a
That's
tumor.
crazy.
And
It's not a tumor. It's a
basi-
twin.
So basically, we were both on life support for the first 4 or 5 days.
So you and the tumor.
Me and my mum.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, dude, someone's trying to resuscitate the tumor.
The tumor had
We can
fingernails.
draw on
and
ice,
this-
man.
Fingernails.
Yeah, but you
on-
had two of the tumor's fingers.
Yeah.
I like how they brand it for you because they said it was a human being, right?
Was that rain before?
Yeah.
No, but it had like fingernails and stuff, right?
Yeah, in the.
So it's a bit like that like abortion argument, like what they called it a tumor for you to process it, but it was another human being, right?
yeah.
It had fingernails. I'm like, at what point is it a human? And you know,
Well, I don't think
it
it had a brain and shit.
No, but I'm saying that's how your mum's processed it.
Yeah.
That there was a boy and a tumor that looked like a boy.
It's a bit.
that we had to get rid of.
It's a bit
You know what I
strange.
mean? You actually had a twin.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't you think?
Yeah, like probably.
Well, how many physical features did it have?
Uh,
Eyes?
Don't know. Dad doesn't really chat about it too much, but like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fuck,
But
man.
it was
Trauma point, Wolfie.
It's
Yeah.
definitely a trauma point.
Yeah.
Dave said that we had to get rid of the tumor, but it was your twin.
Well, it probably was.
Yeah.
Could have been.
And
That's sad.
And yeah, but it basically nearly killed me. So like, I'm genuinely lucky to be here.
Well, you know what they say?
What
What doesn't kill you
makes you stronger?
makes you a dead twin.
Oh, mate.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Did the
But
tumor
that's
have
weird.
a
I think
brain?
I don't,
If I only had a brain.
I don't know.
Imagine if the tumor had like a bigger brain than you did. And then
Would
they
explain
scanned
it-
and
explain
actually,
a lot.
It would have been a smarter child.
that's why he needs alpha brain.
Speaking of that, we are using Alpha Brain today because we're doing 2 pods back to back.
Well, you're using alpha brain.
Because Rogan's so insightful. Hey?
I'm doing prescription alpha brain.
Yeah, so Delby's doing. We're doing Alpha Brain versus prescription Alpha Brain, which is
ADHD meds.
Yeah.
Dexamphetamine.
so we're going to see how we go. 'Cause
Alpha brains are smart, man. It's like just monetizing your fame.
how do you feel?
Yeah.
How do you feel after a pot? Because it's fucked, hey.
I feel drained, eh?
Humiliated, embarrassed, ashamed, socially unable to function. Why do I interrupt? Because in need of mental health professional.
I get 48.
Psychiatry.
I get
Looking for a Clementine titty.
Online Googling like mental health problems.
I get so many messages from Wolfie after a pod saying,
going,
"Dude, you got to scrap that whole episode." It's
They
so
all suck, dude. I can't listen to you guys.
Mate, you should hear. You look at our numbers; it's always a spike when you're on.
Yeah,
People
but
love it.
I can't
People
hear
love
what
it.
you guys are saying. That's what's
That's
so
because
hard.
you're talking over us, cunt.
No,
I'm like, they didn't say anything.
me and Delby have come to the conclusion recently that it's never about us. It's always the guest that gets the listens, and they want to hear the guest,
really?
which is you. So
Always.
just keep talking over us.
Yeah, it's
No,
fine.
but I think your pod the should pivot towards sporting focus.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
talked
Don't you
about
think?
this
No,
before.
because they say like Swan and then like supplements and how to like, train and recovery. I reckon that is that's the window for hard yarn. I think that's where it's the strongest.
Yeah.
Well, we do
Because the
have
comedy thing, they don't want it. You can see it on TikTok. They don't want shit shit jokes.
Yeah.
They want to like learn.
Yeah.
But
Don't you think?
we do have a horse. So we're sporting.
Yeah, we're
How much
horse?
money what percentage of the horse
got
do you own?
5%.
Just the 6 finger man.
half a hoof.
How much do you have to own to actually bother going?
No,
like
we've
what's
got-
percentage?
You
1%?
can have as small as 1%. So you can get. I think they were doing 2.5% sales on the one that we're in. Whole lot of Tasha. There's another one that's 2 years old called Sonic. That's meant to be fast as fuck, boy.
Dude, that's like becoming. You know when you become a lord. Because you own like a small...
Yeah.
Imagine going along to a race and trying to show off to a girl and then she realised you own 1% of the horse. That's come 13.
That's what you do.
You're like, get the fuck away.
But that's what you do. Everyone goes in. It might be like 5 of us, and you get like 0.5% each, or whatever. So it's like $50, $100 a month.
But you get the entry into the
You get
owner-
entry
and
into
then you can wear like the top hat.
Yeah.
We own a horse.
Legit. Yeah, it's pretty fun. And then if you win, you get a share of the stakes. So
What happens
They
when
sent
it's
us-
put down? Do you have to pay for some of the...
No, I don't think you have to pay for the put down fees.
So
That's what I want.
Lucky Duck Racing sent us some.
If
They sent
that
us-
happens, we'll scratch that.
They sent us some fees.
Yeah.
We meant to talk like.
Dude,
tell
can
us.
you,
so-
can you
I think it
bet?
was like
Can you
about-
bet on whether your horse is put down? They need that odds. Where someone's losing their mind, it's 100 to 1, and you see it shot behind a blanket, and you're euphoric at the Melbourne Cup, going, "Fuck yes, I picked another deader." Imagine celebrating as you high five as you see like
That was-
you hear
the
the
odds were
shotgun.
101.
You hear the shotgun ring off, and you're like, "Fucking yes!" And a headshot, motherfucker.
There must be like black market odds on that sort of stuff.
You want to? Because did you see that league? That
Well,
they
you can
set
bet on
up?
a horse not to win on Betfair. So
Oh, really?
You can go
Yeah, but
on
can
it
you
not to win.
bet on it?
Did
to
you
be-
see that Russian?
Not to be executed.
I guarantee there must be black market odds on like Melbourne Cup.
Black caviar market odds.
If a horse was to be put down.
Oh, mate,
on
you
Melbourne
wanna-
Cup, there would be.
Yeah,
Imagine
100%.
that at your office stakes, the put down.
Office mistakes.
Yeah, but you know the sweepstakes?
Yeah.
And you're euphoric,
That's the
hugging people, and they go like, it fucking was traumatic. The jockey's in hospital, and you
Anyway,
you are like,
it's a sweep it under the rug
spraying
stakes.
people in champagne, going, that's $9,000, cunt.
Anyway, Lucky Duck
It's so
Racing
fun.
is trying to.
No, but I'm saying they should have the reverse.
So
Where
for
there's
the-
one guy euphoric in the office because of the dead horse.
How much is it to get on our horse, Delby? For
So
5%?
for 10%, it's $5,000. So you break that down, it's what's that? You got a maths too.
I'm not doing
2,000 for
maths.
1%. No,
So 1,500.
I don't want to. What did you
what's
say?
1,500 for a
10%
percent.
for 5K? So 2.5 for 5, which means it's $500 for a percent.
Yeah.
which is pretty good. So $500 you buy a percent,
Oh,
or
yeah,
you
yep.
jump in with a bunch of mates, and then whatever the prize money is, you just get that. So
You
each
could
race
make
is about
good money if
$1,200.
you got like Maccabi Diva
That's
or
it.
like a big horse.
Yeah.
No, it's 1,000 for 1%.
One-
If it's 5,000 for
10%.
10%. Oh, 10%.
Dude,
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
actually hear the rain falling, It's
Yeah.
so
So
stormy.
if anyone wants to get in,
'Cause
literally
did you see
jump
that
in the horse with
gambling
us.
league that they set up where it was Russians betting on Indian cricket, and it was basically just homeless people simulating a game. Like they just got in a field, and they wore outfits, and they were. This is annoying. This rain, but they were.
You
they
can
were.
hear it, eh?
Did you not see it? They had betting, and it was a scam. It was just local guys like.
Nah, I didn't.
And they would upload. They were uploading footage of people like hitting sixes and going third over, and they were mapping it out for the odds.
Wow.
So it was just basically actors.
That's awesome.
And Russian people weren't that engaged in the Indian cricket league, so they thought it was just a minor
Yeah.
game, but it was actually just actors
That's
playing
sick.
out odds.
That's such a good
Look,
idea.
I can see his face working through the rain right
Yeah.
now.
Dude, well the rain's
Mate,
virtually going to fuck
Well,
your
let's
sound, man.
Let's just turn it up a bit.
Oh, no,
it
no,
doesn't
no,
fuck
no,
the
you-
sound in the mics.
No,
No, it
It's just
will.
us.
Now, do you know what?
It will.
There's a hack. So, okay, if you turn down the mics a little bit, all of them a certain amount, it'll take out a bit more of the background noise.
Yeah, I couldn't even do that
story.
story. The rain was like
It's actually it's actually way better though in post. Sounds way better in post.
Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't pick up as much because you're also hearing outside of your earphones.
Yeah. Yeah, it's intense though.
What was I going to say?
Yeah, so what, has the horse won yet?
It's still
Hasn't-
trialing.
Yeah.
So,
So getting ready.
yeah. So she's trialing Monday. And then I think she's going to go to the paddock and then come back for one more prep.
Dude, any horse where they're like flogging off 1% is obviously
that's-
not got much. Do you know what I mean? The fact they've had to sell it by 1% pieces tells me you're not fucking handing out the, Linford Chris or like a strong horse. You're not giving 1% to plebs so they can come and get pissed.
It's just any horse. You always sell
but does it happen a lot? Like they wouldn't... The good lineage ones are not going to be sold at 1% timeshare blocks.
No.
But they're like $3 million horses.
Yeah.
$1 million horses. The
But
ones that are local
horses. Just the fact if you had a good horse, you wouldn't think, hey, we should get plebs from around Perth to buy 1% of this.
No. But
The business idea of that is trying to
calling
flog...
Are you calling us plebs?
Well, it's flogging a dead horse, can't it? Do you know what I mean? The fact you got to sell it in that way, because good horses... A rich cunt would just basically go, here's 3 mil, I want to own it.
The prices vary. The prices vary. So like the Sonic's like more expensive because it's younger, it's from a better lineage.
Yeah.
So a whole lot of Tasha is 2, getting to 3, about to race.
Is there any history of someone that owned 1% that actually got on to like a Caulfield Cup winner?
Heaps, bro. There was a $5,000 horse that won massive last year. I can't even remember what it was. But so many horses... just fucking end up being guns, and so many gun horses end up being
What's
shit.
the lineage of your horse, like stuttery wise?
Peter Dacos.
Yeah, but which mum and dad?
Whole
Because
lot
they
of
track it all, right?
It's
Even like with pigeons, you can follow them back to the beginning of time, and they're like, this one is like
because
Mike Tyson's.
Mike Tyson's. They can follow it and go like, this was originally like a carrier pigeon for fucking Henry VIII.
Well, Delby's horse Shantalk was really good, and now it got an injury and it wasn't able to.
Shantalk sounds like a girl you would end up marrying.
But it ends up they've studded it out to make better.
She's making stacks of cash,
making more horses, better horses.
Yeah.
It's like a Tamagotchi in real life.
Yeah.
Breed it.
Yeah, because it's always breeding the good lineage.
Yeah.
How do you breed?
Sometimes you get a great lineage and the horses are dud. Like think of Gary Ablett's
brother.
Gary Ablett's brother.
Nathan Ablett.
It's like most...
Nathan was okay. But you're
most
right.
rich parents' kids are fucking fuck-ups.
Yeah.
Genetic fuck-ups.
Yeah.
Don't you think? It's very rare that a famous person has another...
Well,
unless it's like in the film business and they can manipulate it, but generally the genius doesn't spawn another genius.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
very rare.
What's LeBron James's kid doing? He's
in high school. He's going all right.
Did Michael Jordan have any kids?
Yeah, but no.
No good? Yeah,
They
he had
can't
sons.
do it?
That's right. Yeah, like Michael Jordan.
Kobe Bryant had a daughter
Two
that's
girls.
meant to be pretty
LeBron's
good.
is, I think, going pretty well
One
from memory.
died.
But the hard thing is
LeBron's,
that the struggle is what creates the... So without the
Yeah,
struggle,
yeah.
it's impossible to
100%.
simulate it when you're going in a helicopter to training. Obviously, it crashed, but I'm saying you're going... The daughter was going to
Isn't
a training
that amazing
session.
when you see like some of the daughters or the sons of 2 famous people in those sorts of eras? Like Uma Thurman's daughter is in Stranger Things. And
Which one is she?
Robin. The
I
lesbian.
haven't kept up to it.
So Robin, the lesbian girl who's best friends at the movie store with Steve.
Yep.
Steve. That's Uma Thurman's daughter with
What's his
Quentin
name?
Tarantino.
no,
No, Guy.
Didn't
not Guy
they bang?
Pearce.
no, not Guy Pearce.
Fuck. Yeah.
Oh,
Whatever.
yeah.
But in a way, right,
I'm gonna
if
look
you're
that
a
up.
successful person, you should hide your wealth and simulate for your kid. Do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? To make a great athlete, you should actually create a fake struggle for them and say, oh, yeah, daddy gambled it away. We have to work hard. Do you know what I mean? And give them... no, but I'm saying you should
Ethan
mirror,
Hawke.
you should
Ethan
mirror
Hawke,
your
yeah.
childhood.
Yeah.
Ethan
with,
Hawke
you know what I
and
mean?
Uma
With
Thurman.
challenges.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything, all diamonds are made under pressure, man. You know?
Pretty much. It's very rare that someone from privilege elevates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you're having like, do you know what I mean? Like
What about the Buddha?
Blueberry pancakes.
The Buddha's
you know,
from-
like you're getting massage after your footy training.
Yeah.
It's not right.
the
Buddha's
You need to
from
be
privilege.
fucking not even having a ball. You're
Buddha's
kicking
not
it.
recent. Everyone was fucked back then. Even privilege was fucked. They didn't have running water, man.
I see what you mean. Yeah, actually.
No, but you know what I mean? Like you have to, for the first few years, I was just kicking like an Emu export can in the backyard with sand in it.
Yeah.
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 Well, that's what I find.
It's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Fuck,
you have
do
to,
know
you have to
how-
overcome that challenge to become great.
Yeah.
It's so
And
hard
if
to
you-
see that when you're in it, though.
But don't you think, like, to become great, you have challenges and then you rise up to... Most people fail. So if you do put, like, your kid under challenge, they'll probably become a loser. But I'm saying the processing of those challenges is what creates a great person.
We've spoken about this as well. What if we're the one that, you try and see yourself as you're in the journey of like, this is just a hard trot before I get to where I want to be. What if you're the one who fails?
What do you mean?
So like, what if you're the lesson for you? Like me and you spoke about this. What if we're the lesson for our kids?
Dude, and that's what I was saying. In your head,
I'm quite fine with that.
In their head, so many parents do that, is you end up giving up on your dreams and then just praying that they're the miracle baby.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
My whole lineage has just been, I think this is for the next one.
And you're like, maybe I was born to raise a genius. And it's like, maybe your kid's even worse than you. Do you know, because I'm hanging on to the fact I'm divorced and I'm like, maybe my kids will do something, but they're probably going to just be another disappointment. Do you know what I mean? But they're probably actually dumber than me, and it's just going to get worse and worse. And I should just hang myself. Now I'm going to wait 18 years to watch them fucking implode. Do you know what I mean?
I can't wait for them to be old enough to listen back to these.
Just to watch it even go down further.
Yeah.
In your head, it's so nice to philosophize and go like, maybe my kids will be like Jim Carrey. But maybe they'll be junkies and it's just going to get worse and worse.
But what if the lesson for my daughter, for example, is to not try and chase your dreams, to just be content with what you've got? Maybe that's a good lesson. That could be a good lesson.
Yeah.
Maybe, because if I try, let's say, I'm hoping not. I'm hoping the pod goes well. I'm hoping there's all sorts of things. I'm enjoying the journey regardless. But let's assume that it goes nowhere. And then I get to 50 and I'm like, fuck, I'm working in a fucking Coles stacking shells because I've done nothing with the retinol. And then my daughter looks at me like, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, what if I get to that point and then like my daughter goes, well, look, he had a crack. I'm very proud of him having a crack. But
so I'll never try.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Like maybe that's the thing. Just be content with what you've got. Maybe like, hey, I'm fine doing the 9 to 5. I don't know.
We started the pod like, follow your dreams.
Yeah.
And as they're dying, it's like, just be happy with what you got.
Well, maybe that is the takeaway.
Well, it's a bit of both, I think.
Nothing's real. Nothing's really real. So is a dream even matter? Do you know, even if you become famous and rich, it's really amongst fools. So, like, what does it mean?
Yeah. Isn't that?
Do you know what I mean? Contentment is just existence, and then you're like, oh, it's elevated. But, like, even a famous comic, their fans are morons. Do you know what I mean? So, like, how's that validate you as a human that a dumb person
just
finds
gives
you
more
impressive?
money to do stuff that you want to do.
Well, you should. And
You get money, but I'm saying to you, being validated by the masses doesn't really make you special.
Nothing,
because they consume anything, really.
You shared a video with me the other day. Someone giving their DMT experience, and
David
Icke. He well, probably you shouldn't use him as an example because people think he's insane. But his experience on DMT is pretty reflective of how people feel. Like they end up just sort of saying like love is all that matters and everything else is an illusion.
Dude,
so like it does make you go, what the fuck does anything matter?
Now, Everything, Everywhere,
All at Once.
All at Once.
I heard it's good.
That's pretty much DMT. They captured it. As I'm saying, like, there's so many of those ideas are the conception of what you get on DMT.
Yeah, right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the closest thing I've ever seen to trying to articulate the idea that comes to you.
That's pretty cool.
So
it's been fucking well done.
Did you have a point you were going to make? I saw you lift the mic.
He said the mics aren't on.
Oh.
We haven't been listening. The mics haven't been on for 15 minutes, dumb cunt.
No, you got to turn that mic on. Yeah, it is.
Say it, man. You've been going viral on TikTok.
You got to turn it on. You got to turn it on.
Hang on.
Turn it.
All matter is energy condensed experiencing itself.
Turn the mic on at the mic.
Dude, you actually go off. Imagine if he goes, he'll go, all matter is energy condensed experiencing.
We're good.
Our sound producer killing it.
I was just going to say that if you don't dream, you just sleep. I think the real question is, what are you dreaming for?
TikTok viral. All matter is energy slowed down, experiencing itself. Oh, we're going viral. There's a lot of people that need mental health professionals crying, going, dream.
I have this cool idea, and I said this to Delby or you. I can't remember which one. The idea of doing the branchy gets high. Delby doesn't want to do it. I don't think.
What's the song? Then I got high. Then I got high.
Yeah, well, I think I'm not going back teaching for quite a while, but
yeah.
I'll do it. Go around.
So my idea is to get Dr. Stephen Bright, which adds the scientific side to it, to explain to us what's actually happening, what's going through. Because I liked what he shared the other day, us talking about using mushrooms and using DMT and using ayahuasca.
What's he a doctor in?
He's a specialist in alcohol and drug awareness, basically. But
but like, did he go the whole like full?
Alternative
So he did like psych.
Yeah.
He's a psychiatrist.
Yeah. So his point that he made, I don't know if you've seen this the other day in our AOD Media Watch.
No.
So they shared an article by Dr. Stephen Bright, and he was talking about how us sitting here talking about using mushrooms to be, help solve these issues is just as dangerous as not using them. So like people will, when they're desperate, will take desperate actions and just go, right, I'm going to self-medicate with mushrooms or LSD, and then they will fuck up because that's not a controlled, regulated environment where they're using science to do this.
Well, they've obviously
So that's why I'd like to use the idea of like, okay, let's go lick a toad. That sounds stupid, but with Dr. Stephen Bright.
I've licked a few at Hippie Club.
But I'd like to see the science behind it. I'd want to know what's happening in my body. I want to know what the benefits are.
Dude,
if there's benefits, do I need to use it? Like that sort of stuff.
I like all the insight,
he's a
but where's
psychologist,
the Buddha status? Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many experts, but I'm like, you should be elevated then in life. Do you know what I mean?
For me, it's more like there's education around it, but like you can never. People talk about DMT, and I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about because I've never experienced it. So to have experienced it, I like to just experience as many things as I can. It's like skydiving, traveling solo,
like
all these things.
Being dominated.
Overarching, everyone talks like the insight they've got, but then they haven't become limitless. Like you would expect that if you had an insight that elevated you beyond the mainstream idea, that your life would become incredible because it's like you're outside the matrix and you should be able to manifest everything at that point.
But it seems
Andrew
like
Tate.
Yeah,
Andrew
Tate's achieved that.
No, but it seems like it's the opposite because I remember you telling me about that friend of yours that was a gun comedian, did DMT and just stopped because he just went, everything doesn't matter. And just like, and people do get in that. Maybe that's the more of the route. Like, hey, who gives a fuck? Nothing matters. Just like.
Speaking of,
I'm trying to think of the philosopher, and I can't refer to it because I've only seen it on TikTok. I'm trying to look at my phone, but there was one guy that was dog me, or was a guy that basically abandoned everything. So there's the other idea.
Dog man?
No, it was dog. It's dog man, effectively, which was a guy that just lived like a peasant on the streets, and everyone invited him, and he was like extremely intelligent, but he just turned his back on everything.
He lived in a barrel and threw shit at people.
Yeah, threw shit at people.
I remember that guy.
And he was one of the great minds.
He was the original Oscar the Grouch.
He was the basis of the Cynic and Stoicism. It all came from him.
Really?
And he basically was elevated thinker and just turned his back on all society and everything and lived on the street rough. And he said it's all about experiencing, do you know what I mean? Not comfort. To become... So there's that other idea that a lot of these meth heads are actually elevated.
It's funny
they're on a map.
They're definitely high.
No, because they've abandoned materialism and capitalism, and they've moved beyond that.
Yeah, but not by purpose, bro.
They might have.
What?
I'm saying they might be living there because it's a better
It's a
state
choice.
of being, challenging your inner core to its extremity, rather than chasing comfort. Do you know what I mean? Because the great lessons come from going outside your comfort zone and living bad.
I'm going to go out and...
Dude, these people can't even stay in a queue. What do you mean?
Oh, well, whatever. I was reaching for a bit.
You did well.
I'm going to go out on a limb and just say the meth head junkies that are on the street are not there by choice because they're trying to be elevated.
Who is the guy?
Just going out on a
Dude, I've
weird
got
limb.
such a blank space. Who is the great Roman leader that wrote a lot of the philosophy?
Augustus, Caesar.
No, but he was also extremely wealthy. He had everything. And
Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah, Marcus Aurelius, who elevated to the...
Marcus
No, but
Aurelius.
he had insight, but he also was the top status of every human that existed at that point. He had all the wealth, all the money. And I'm saying to you, he's the most legit because he had everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? As in, like, his philosophy was so powerful that he elevated beyond everyone.
Was that his diaries that they found?
Yeah, they found diaries, and he could kill someone at a point. He had all limitless money. He could do anything he wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I believe that he must be the closest to enlightened because he was also able to. Because if you get enlightened and then everyone's just a monkey around you, you should ultimately rule everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Tate's doing right now. Andrew Tate is a joke. But I'm saying, a lot of people say, oh, DMT gave me insight. Well, then I'm like, surely it's like getting a super intelligence. You should immediately move up the ranks and control everything.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think it does.
Maybe the insight doesn't mean that you're trying to be better and control other people.
It's the insight is that nothing matters.
But you know how people they give their philosophy and it should be one of two. I'm saying if you have solve the riddle, it should lead to something tangible rather than just chat.
Does it have to lead to something materially though?
Not material, but I'm saying if you've got an elevated
you've
thinking,
unlocked the
you
secret.
should see some evidence of it rather than just a cunt driving to your thing, keep yapping on, waxing lyrical about his inside. I'm like, there should be something, part of your life that is distinguishably different from everyone else to truly be enlightened. Which is either living on the street or being Marcus is a
So what do you think? Like,
I understand what you're saying.
what do you think the woke side think? Do you think they're like elevating? They feel like they're elevating?
Dude, that's just fucking smelling your own farts.
Dude, I don't
Woke
call it woke.
culture.
It's just nerds.
Yeah.
It's just nerds.
That's right.
Behavior.
Yeah.
I think it's being branded as what? It's just nerds,
They're
right?
just nerds.
They're fucking nerds. Do-gooders.
Yeah.
Do-gooders,
They're
Do-gooders.
virtue signaling.
Virtue signaling is
smelling
the
your
Dude,
own
it comes
farts.
from privilege. Like, everything is already, like, what Tate always goes on about. Everyone just quotes Tate now.
He's a fuckhead.
But
I
he's a
fucking hate him.
fuckwit.
Tell me hates him.
He's a fucking dick.
No, but I'm saying
his
that-
accent pisses me off. And
What did he do and what has he done?
The natural order of what the universe is can't be denied. And I think from privilege, you try to fight against it, but it always reverts back to what it is.
I think the problem with Tate is he makes excellent points, but then he just ruins it by saying a female officer or whatever his fucking accent is. Female officer, and we know she can't do anything. It's like, you're a fucking idiot.
No.
I like misogyny for for the sake of it,
And
just
it's
to like
for the clout. He's doing it to get views.
His point is like under pressure, we all revert back to our natural roles. So like you got privilege or you help people in wheelchairs because they're doing really well.
Yep.
But if China invades now, no cunt's carrying the guy in the wheelchair out of the thing. You just run and protect yourself. And then I'm saying because we're privileged, people will help him across the road. But if there's people running at you with shotguns, that guy's getting thrown to them. Do you know what I mean?
Like, think
That's
about-
what I'm saying.
So-
there's no opportunity to be kind if in the true environment of what the world is under
look at
pressure.
Yeah,
Bali.
but there are some people that are the people that would risk their life to
He's
save
right.
that guy in the wheelchair. And then that's where it comes in. Like, of course, there are weaker people. But I actually saw a video, terrible video, but it was like dash cam footage of these teenagers running away from gunfire. And like it was in America. And then one of the teenagers turned around and ran back for his friend, ended up dying.
Oh, wow.
Right? So there's people out there that exist.
Dude, 100%. He's 100%. It's talking in absolutes.
Yeah.
But the truth is, they are people that would help. And Tate always goes on, men are better drivers. And then some guy ripped him apart and basically said, well, their insurance premium's higher. And that's like statistically testing, you know, who's most likely to crash. So I'm like, you're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
It was like your bit, dude, about the Asian drivers.
Yeah, they look at the white drivers and go, fuck. this
Well,
guy's
no,
gonna
they're
drive.
just less courteous because they're in higher populated places.
They got no time for your bullshit.
They're really involved in crashes. It's all bullshit.
Mate,
they're
it's
better
organised.
drivers.
Asia is like organised chaos.
Yeah.
And the honking is not
It's
like
Pip coming
Dude,
through.
if you've been driving on
awareness.
a Bali street, you come here, of course you're going to seem like a bit selfish and reckless because you're like, just merge, cunt.
Yeah.
Drive, go.
Yeah.
But you don't often like see a crash and there's Asian. They're good.
never-
They're better
yeah.
drivers.
Yeah.
We're
It's
actually
always
just fucking slugs out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 100%.
And they're like, just fucking cut through. Because when I went to Hong Kong and all the Chinese, they shove you a lot and push. But then you realize it's because they've got a billion people.
Yeah.
And they don't just
Watching the
dawdle
plane-
around checking for their change to get the fucking ticket.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, fucking go, cunt.
Yeah.
You know, there's...
Watch a plane land from China in Bali and watch them go to immigration.
Bang.
No,
Dude, they're so
just
efficient.
straight
and
in.
then we stand and go, they're
Just
being
'cause-
rude, and we're actually dumb cunts, like daydreaming
Yeah.
on the road, daydreaming the lines. And I'm like, if
personal
you
space?
send a
Yeah.
white
Doesn't
dickhead to
exist.
drive in Bali for a year, they'd come back, and people would say they're a bad driver, but they're actually more efficient.
Yeah. The Bali one's a perfect example because when you go to like a buffet breakfast in the morning at your hotel and then you got that, you know, like it'll be a Japanese or Chinese person like fucking right behind you and then you just go, give me some fucking space, but you
Well,
realise
that
that's
is personal
that
space
is
in
just
China.
standard.
Dude,
yeah,
it's like-
not like, I think, I understand it. I go,
Yeah.
yeah, it's normal, but like,
It's
I've been
effectively
with
like-
friends and they're like, fucking
Yeah.
get the fuck away from me. Like, mate, just chill. Just relax.
It's like Croc
that's just
Dundee
normal to them.
going New York, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
Crocodile,
Yeah,
where he's all like chaos, and he's like, he would have thought everyone is rude,
Yeah.
but it's like, mate, you've been living in the outback.
Yeah.
Do you know, it's not actually rude. It's efficiency that comes with
Yeah,
bigger populations.
They're not specifically setting out to be a cunt or like just being rude. They're just this is just the way.
So, man, we've
It's just like
discredited
us-
that whole
us going,
premise.
it's like us going to America and going, oh, this cunt. And they go, oh my God, buddy.
Yeah.
Calling me a cunt.
Yeah.
But we just grew up in that culture where it's like, oh, this bloke.
Yeah, cunt's used as an
Mate, so we've
affectionate term.
discredited
Yeah.
the whole joke that they're worse drivers.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
In Asia.
We're progressive,
not in
man.
Bali.
And I regret
We're woke. We're woke.
I regret that wheelchair thing. And he said someone would go back. Obviously, I wouldn't. But like, there are cunts that would do
also
it.
in Indonesia, in Bali, let's say the kids with mental disabilities or mental, what's the word I'm looking for? When you're born with a...
Retardé.
Yeah. Yeah.
Retardé.
Right. They just lock them in a room. They don't look after them like it is. In Western
What do you mean?
culture,
They just put them all in like a ball pit.
Dude, they
and
either
just
they put them up for adoption, or they just keep them at their house locked in a room.
Where?
Like, in Bali.
They've
in
got
Indonesia.
them in a ball pit.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that-
My
no
mum
one
went
tries
over.
to raise them.
My
and
mum
you
went
just hose
over.
down the balls each night and they just scroll
Yeah, my
around.
mum went over to help out all the kids that had been basically given up by the parents, and they're all kids with issues.
And they just get put in one room together.
One
Dude,
house.
imagine if it's just like a bucket
Like an orphanage.
filled with apples. The balls are apples, and you can eat those and just hose them down. And you just look down. And they're all just swirling around.
Wolfie's gone. Branchy's gone.
Swirling around in a bucket full of apples,
Yeah.
like bobbing for apples.
No,
and they're
I'm-
just,
I've got this
I love that.
disgusting picture in my head of like a room covered in bubble wrap and just kids just bumping.
I'm imagining
that'd be fun.
I'm imagining
Into each
100 retards in with apples and water. And
You
at the end of-
saying it with an accent doesn't make it any better.
and at the end of it,
If I say it in Spanish, it's less offensive.
less offensive.
so there's hundreds in there, and at the end of the day, they're going to use a pool scoop to pull out like 2 or 3 that are drowned at the bottom and that are blocking the filter. It's so good. Is that their mental health plan out in
It is.
Indonesia?
Yeah.
That's so good.
But no,
Scooping them out
back
in a
to-
net.
It goes to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Where Western cultures.
Blocking the filter.
They did actually do that.
My
So they
mum-
locked them in a room.
My mum went over as a nurse to help out, and she was like, "It's crazy what happens there." Like,
They should have an island for them, like lepers,
She
and
visited
just push
some.
them out.
She visited
You come
some
back and
houses,
they've
and they've just been
invented
locked in a room and forgotten about. Like,
Did you need an island for them, like Lord of the Flies?
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
just run wild.
Yeah, that'd
You
be-
come back and they've actually invented something
the
crazy.
dream. It's the dream.
I'd love it.
I don't know if your visuals are the same as
Oh, definitely.
I'm
I'm just holding my shit together. Alpha brain's not working.
just Wolfie fucking
Just pulling one out.
retard out of a pool with a pool net because they're blocking them.
No, but that's crazy. To
You
just
guys
not
are disgusting, joking about mental health.
No, but it's funny
Fuck up
because
your woke culture.
no, because it's funny with psychology because so much of it is just lingering in the problem, and you
Yeah.
actually fix your life by action,
Yeah.
just doing
Like
stuff.
getting rid of it.
It's not going to help you to talk about your problem. It's way better to go and win a medal or train or do something else.
Yeah.
Like, how does it help you getting going? Because this is another idea of going to a psychologist and then every week talking about how you were molested at 3, because like it's not
Keep
going to
reliving it.
You're not getting unmolested, right?
Yeah.
So like keep reliving the trauma or go and win a medal at the
Is it
Paraplegic Olympics or whatever the fuck.
surely there's a method behind that, hey?
What?
Like,
Of lingering in pain?
oh, I don't know. Is there? Maybe like
No.
oh, we should make. Or
No, but I'm
maybe
saying
we
you
should.
want to process it, but then I'm like, it's sort of like your memories fade. So then, like the fact that you keep
Bringing it
reminding
back up.
yourself over time, you know how they say time heals all wounds?
Yeah, it's 'cause
and
you
it's
forget
because you
about it.
fucking forget.
Yeah.
But then you go to a psychiatrist and they just go, so was he leaning over and you could smell anchovies in his breath? And you're like, could you see it? And he goes, yeah, he had glistening pubic hair. I could see the glistening sweat
Do you
on
remember
his,
it now?
on his
Do you
top
remember
hand.
it now?
And
Okay,
then
so-
I remember he had one little fucking corn kernel trapped in his tooth.
Okay, so we've
From
hit
the
on.
fair.
We've hit
And
on.
you're like, oh, the corn kernel. It smelled like anchovies. The sheets were dry.
We've hit on
And wet.
kids with mental health problems and molested.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but I'm saying this is what a
We're
psychiatrist
on a
does
hat
to you.
trick.
And they describe everything. So describe the room.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember Wheel
Why?
of Fortune was on. Ding, 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 ding. And he was leaning.
There is part of that. There's
Yeah.
that part of that thing.
Don't do it.
Where
It's
you
better
sort of,
to just go, it didn't happen, dude. It was a dream.
yeah, there's this
And
like
you just turn that guy, this is NLP. You turn that guy into a hot hot milfy, and you turn it black and white, and then you got carnival tunes playing, and
That's
you're like,
it.
and then people go, dude, I fucked a MILF when I was 4. That's my memory. I fucked a MILF.
Jamal's
Dude, we got the clear.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
And then you're like elevated, you're showing off at parties.
So
You go,
guys-
I was a pussy hunter at 3. You've
So
changed
if
the whole
anybody's
story.
looking for counselling, Wolfie has just saved you 10 grand a
Dude,
year.
it's like hypnosis. Just
That's it.
change the memory.
Change the
and then
narrative.
over time, you've eventually been, just
Dude.
destroying.
But that's true. Trauma isn't the actual event. It's how you process and react to that event. So if you reframe
Go.
exactly what the
'Cause
event was.
every time you take a memory out,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
change it, and then you
Yeah.
put it back, and you also
Because that's what happens anyway,
accentuate
isn't it?
its
Yeah.
Yeah.
validity, because your brain's only got so much hard drive.
Yeah.
And then you go to some idiot that just keeps reminding you about it
Yeah.
over and over again, and you just keep having
Yeah.
10% of your hard drive with this memory, and you also make it way more traumatic
Yeah.
by re-experiencing rather than just going, oh, it's just a bit of tickling, really.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
we
Just
should
downplay
mention
it.
that this is not mental health
Fuck!
professional advice.
Fuck mental health. These guys know shit. The whole mental health professionals, they're morons. They haven't experienced any of life. They haven't even examined their life.
Do you know what
They're bumbling around like Stevie Wonder around a piano, man. They don't know what the fuck's
That's
going
kind of
on.
true, man. I think like
Ignore every...
That changing your memory thing, though, like I completely agree with. And do you know, literally 3 or 4 days ago, it was made evident of how your memories could be manipulated and made me question some of my memories. So I went out the front.
you had 7 fingers when you were
Oh,
Went out. Now, people who listen to the podcast would have maybe heard this story, but the story
Your second dick,
when I
man.
was a kid and I seen the ship in the sky, the 3 points, and so I remember telling this story, and I've told this story for so many years. I seen a UFO when I was a kid that it was a 3
There's
points.
actually a tattoo of the man's belly button.
No.
Just looking up into it.
But then I went outside. Yeah, it's like
There's
3 or
a
4 days
nipple
ago.
piercing?
I took
Of
blue
a
out.
boat?
I took blue out for a piss.
Yeah.
And looked up at the stars, and there was like 3-point stars.
Yeah,
and
it's the fucking Southern Cross, you dumb cunt.
the clouds were moving past it, and it looked like there was this ship moving through the sky. That's what it looked like. And I went,
cloud.
I went like. It's a bit different because my parents were there. There was a lot of people there, and
No one
they
explained
cooperated. But
clouds to you.
I just assumed. I
You
just
saw
went.
clouds with spaceships.
But I just went in my head like, what if?
And he didn't know the spaceship
Yeah.
up there.
What if in my head I'm a fucking?
It's called a cumulus
I'm
cloud,
9
mate.
years old, and I've just not contemplated it correctly, and it was literally just that. And for 10 to 15 years, I've convinced myself by telling this story over and over again that I've seen a UFO.
No
when I
one
was
had
a kid.
explained it. It's like how people thought the sun was like the sun god, and then weather was the gods expressing
I love that.
themselves.
This is the first time anyone's ever dropped cumulus cloud. Like
Cumulus.
You just know your nimbus, your cumulus.
Isn't that the nice fluffy one?
Yeah,
That's what I wanted. I wanted to describe that it was a fluffy cat with you crying, going, "It's a UFO, mummy!" And we're like, "We got to take this cunt to Bali and get him in a ballroom."
What is it?
Such a moron. Pop him in the ballroom.
the ballroom.
The Bali ballroom.
Put him in the ball pit.
This boy, you're going to Bali, boy. You see one more cloud and yell.
Get a hose.
Then you get into the mama. What else did you see? The
But yeah,
wind?
no, so that, and I remember I've told stories. I remember.
I love it. You're outside as an adult, you see a cloud and go, that might have been the spaceship.
No, but also you're doubting your own memory.
Yeah,
like,
now I'm doubting my memory. So I've done that with other things though in the past, like told stories about like a night out on the board.
Oh,
on
I
the
was
piss with
with
the
I
boys.
had a hot girl.
And I've told
We
it for
know.
years and years a certain way, and then like I've been with a friend who was there, and they go, "No, I remember it was this,"
Yeah,
and I'll
she
be like,
wasn't hot,
"Oh, fuck, it wasn't."
It was a
Yeah.
prostitute. It was a fat
So
prostitute.
it's amazing though. Like I'm not lying when I tell that story. I'm
Yeah,
telling
yeah,
it as I totally believe it's happened. And
Dude,
then
and then this is the other idea of
human
like,
memory.
So is
the-
that what
the
we can do?
biggest-
indulging your trauma, and then the other thing is like, you're only here for a short time, so why even bother?
So
I've
if
been
you want
trying
to
do
hear
this
about
premise,
if
like-
you want to hear about Wolfie's trauma, jump on the Patreon app that me and Wolfie did.
Dude, no,
up
but
in
I'm saying
Exeter. It's on there.
If you get a car rental that's not working, you're not trying to go under the bonnet and fix it. You just drive it into the ground and hand it back. And I'm saying like that's another philosophy you can have with life is just not addressing any of your issues and just make it to the end. You're going to go get a hire car and
when's
then
the end?
you're taking into a mechanic trying to change the fan belt. It's like just drive the piece of shit into the ground, hand it back to the rental with a complaint to God, going like, that was a fucking piece of shit. I'm never coming back.
I find
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's another way to live life.
Yeah.
I find
You gave me a bomb, you dickhead.
All are valid.
I find your brain like very interesting to try and analyze when I hear it.
It's mental health.
Because there's two parts of it.
Yeah.
And I'm always interested in you and like always checking up on you and stuff like that. But in the end, when you talked about this just before, and same with Delby, like Delby will check up on me and stuff like that. We'll always have chats. But at the end, none of us really actually care about each other in that way.
Yeah.
So like we'll end
What
up.
do you mean?
Back to the ball pit, boys.
Yeah. It ends up being like this, and fuck, we've got him on after. So Jared Groundery speaks about this. He called it. I seen it on one of his clips, like sore back syndrome. Like I've got a sore back. Yeah, I've got a sore back too, bro.
You can do
Like
about it.
there's no like if it comes down to you caring about your back and my back, you're going to care about yours,
because you know
not
what the
mine.
reality is.
Well, I can't carry you without my back being strong.
Yeah, like I'll look after you as much as I can. But if it came to a point where like I'm going to lose my job, I'm going to lose
It
everything.
ties
to
into
looking
my
after this
analogy
cunt, like,
of like the guy in the wheelchair, because the truth is humans are just good time girls.
Yeah.
Do you know, as in I'm saying like they will indulge your trauma for a bit.
Yeah.
But because of the fight or flight of life, do you know I've lost so many friends because I had the trauma, the divorce, lost the money.
Yeah.
And it becomes a one-track story, and it makes sense that they move on because ultimately they got to live their life.
Yeah.
And it's like if your dad passes away, you can't keep going to the grave every day crying with flowers. Eventually, you just drive past it
Well, I
and
thought-
give it a thumbs up.
And you
But
change the narrative.
so you check in with you, but at the end of the day, I can't fucking really help you.
Well, I think-
and I've got to get on with the fair, that
This-
is life myself. And that you start blaming friends, going like, it's 3 years on, why aren't they checking in anymore? And I'm like, because
They've
they've
got their
only
own
got one
life.
life, and like
They've got kids,
and this
wife.
idea that everyone's got this woke culture. The truth is, I'm the wheelchair. I'm falling out the wheelchair. The war's coming, and everyone has run off,
Yeah.
and they ultimately always will. And that's what I'm saying to you. Your true nature always reveals itself because no one only a handful where they become carers will diligently tend to someone's mental health for more than about 2-3 years, and then they're out.
But also because you got to look after your own. You have to sort yourself out.
And the other thing is
You gotta
their
fucking-
mental health is contagious.
Yes.
So a toxic person turns you into a cynic.
yeah.
Like, I'm sure I've put my dad into a deep depression by chatting to him. He's probably on fucking hardcore tranquilizers, dude. I whisper in his head about the futility of existence. That is every moment I can get in there. He's just getting a peanut butter sandwich and I'm whispering and going, nothing means nothing. But I'm saying because you're toxic, you have to almost go out like a dog does and die in the forest alone once you're damaged.
Or you fucking fix yourself and you come back strong as a wolf cunt.
Or
An Andrew
you come
Wolfe, you could
back
say.
and rip the village apart.
That's right.
As a
You
rabbit
do
dog.
become the people you hang around with.
You
Look,
do.
I'm
You
the
do.
perfect example. I started
Rogan-
hanging out with you two
Rogan
cunts, and
talks
now I'm
about it
fucking
and-
single and fucking talking on a podcast.
You're divorced. Dude, I know. He's divorced. He's got anxiety. He's had his first panic attack.
Fucking
And that's
you
3
two.
years work.
It's fucking you.
Imagine in 30 years, cunt. 3 years, we got you divorced. You've lost all your money. You now believe in depression, and you're having panic attacks in your car. And that's us going to work for 3 years, working on your mental health.
fuck.
Going, it's all futile. It's all futile, Grouchy. And you're eventually crying in your car. And you were like a successful, killing at football, motivated. And now you don't leave your house when you don't have the kids, eh? You lie in a darkened room. Do you find that? You lie in a darkened room now?
I've got tears of love.
We have infected you. I have, and I do it with everyone, like with my
Is that
mind
real?
virus.
Do you think it's real?
My cynicism has worn off on
Not
you,
on me,
for
brother.
sure, dude.
No, I'm immune to wolf. I'm always building you up,
Do you
cunt.
think? Oh my god, that's
I
so
reckon
funny.
100% I had a part to play with.
Well, you
no, as in
predicted
I'm
it.
saying like being around people that are jaded and cynical.
I don't think so.
Affects
Because we
your
see
life.
the light in you, bro.
Because you become who you're around, dude.
Well, I
you
was
can only
all-
be as good as
everything was fine
your
when-
peers.
Well, everything was fine until I started trying to chase my dreams.
No, but do you know how people?
Doing
Do you know
right.
how
Be
people
content with
model?
what you got.
How people model of someone more successful. This is the main way to get successful. Is someone that's already done what you wanted to do, and then you hang around them, and it manifests and it comes. It's virtually impossible, apropos of nothing, to say become a pro stand-up unless like a Jim Jefferies or something will pull you in
Perfect.
and model you.
This is what I wanted to get
If
on.
you're
So
hanging
speaking of
around a
that,
cruise ship comedian,
Oh, yeah,
he's like, what's the
Yeah.
point? TV sucks. I fucking women are whores. Do you know what I mean? And then you hang around him, and that's your mentor.
speaking
you
of
pretty
which-
much have no chance of making it.
Amos has hooked you up with opening for Jim Jefferies. We haven't spoke about that.
Yeah, man, I've done it on other pods. Dude, I don't know. It's nothing to say, man. Don't bother about it.
Fuck up, cunt.
Let's do other stuff. I'm liking this mental health stuff.
No, but didn't you talk about this on an app or something?
I've already
no
done
one
it
listens.
on
No one,
pod,
yeah,
man.
no one listens to an app. So.
No, I didn't do it on an app. I can't. I'll do it. I'll do it on another thing.
That sounded really
you
bad.
do it now, cunt.
I'm not going to do it.
Oh, whatever.
No, because
it's the one thing I know you're proud of.
No, you know what I realised?
He wants to get out of mental health.
No, I like this mental health angle, but the thing is,
you just opened for Jim Jefferies. We're not glossing over that.
No, but I'm saying
you hit a massive life goal,
the chat about
and you're proud of it because you posted on your Instagram.
Yes.
It's the only photo you have out of fucking the last 50 posts.
Yeah, it was a good night. But what I'm saying to you,
keep going. Yeah.
I was doing anecdotes of shit that happened, but then it feels, if I tell the story, Amos is better to talk about like the things that happened with like Russell Crowe and stuff, because it seems like that try hard that is trying to find an angle to go like, oh, speaking of Jim Jefferies, and you've got a funny anecdote about it. Yeah. The whole context of it is to let everyone know that you opened for him at like,
but it's a
his
huge
fucking
thing.
stadium.
We want to
shit.
celebrate your achievements.
I know, but I can't be funny in that context.
We don't need you to be
Okay,
funny.
so wait, I know the story. Did you say something like call Russell Crowe a cunt?
Oh, dude, well, look, I went out with him on, we went for Amos's birthday, hey? And Corey White said on Green Reavers, I wasn't pissed as a fuck.
Yeah.
But we went out, I got kicked out of a few bars. Jim couldn't get me in to
Wow.
the second place, and they'd opened just for him, I think.
Wow.
Because it was outside of hours, and they were like, nah, that guy's not coming back in. It's Jim Jefferies talking to the bouncer, and they're like, nah, he's not coming in. And then they moved to another bar, and I got kicked out almost immediately.
Immediately.
Did
You
you
can see he doesn't
try
like
to?
telling stories
These
about when he's
motherfuckers,
Did you try to
names.
get kicked out?
dude,
Or were
for
you just being
the
erratic?
opening, it was a lot of pressure because Jim like went hard at me.
Yeah.
It was like, if you don't do well, Amos isn't getting paid. And he was like, you better not bomb. And I was like, oh, what happens if I bomb? What, I move back in with my parents? Oh, I already lived there, cunt. You can't take anything from me. And he goes, oh, Amos doesn't get paid. I'm like, does that mean I'm not getting paid? Do you know what I mean?
Was he
no
saying
matter
this,
what?
Was he saying that in jest though?
No, and then he said to Amos, oh, here's your little boy. Let's see if your little boy can deliver.
You're the one in the wheelchair.
Before I'm going
Amos
on-
is the saviour.
And
He's the ball boy.
This is my intro. Welcome to the Jim Jefferies Show. Your opening act, someone Jim knows, and you can see him walk past. And then I walked out like
Did you see that video?
I swear there wasn't music, and I just heard my feet going boom, 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 and they've been like ribbing me, going, "Don't fuck it up for Amos." And then I walk out in front of 3,000 people, like to like boom, boom, and I'm going, "I'm crazy," and they're like, I didn't know I was.
Yeah.
Then the next night I came in, and there was. Taylor came out and goes, dude, there's bad thing. Like Jim and the other manager, they don't want you here. Amos is trying to work
said
through
that?
it.
Taylor McLeod.
So then I go in the green room. I'm like, I don't want to fucking pity fuck. I won't go on. And I came in and then they're all laughing. Ha ha, just joking, man. And I've got anxiety, so they trigger me the whole time. And they're just joking, mate. You did well last night. But then what saved me, man, is from my trauma in the past, because back in the day, I would have just collapsed.
Changed the narrative,
But
mate.
now I'm angry and I'm like, I'm going to fucking burn the fucking room down to the ground. Because they're playing games with me, and I came out and I was just like, fucking, yeah! Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of like dropping to the moment, I was like, fuck you, cunt!
Yeah.
I'm going to fucking make this 10 minutes impossible to follow, you fucking losers.
That's perfect.
I'm going to fucking melt the room.
And how'd you
Second
go?
night was good, eh?
Crushed it.
Jim was counting the applause breaks. Like, and then when I came off, he goes, mate, you crushed it. And I did my standard. Really? And he goes, what do you mean? And he goes, what do you mean? You leveled the joy. So it was good outcome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's good,
you know what you
especially after
realise?
being written off the night before.
And then he was saying to Amos, if you don't get 6 applause breaks, you're fucking off the tour, cunt. Because he had counted it. But you know what you realise is...
That sounds like he's just like, that's acceptable.
Dude, he's a good dude.
Giving you shit.
He is fun.
Giving you pressure.
And it's good hanging out, man. It's fucking surreal hanging out with people that you're, you know, like,
up
that
to.
we heroes, and you're just
Yeah.
drinking in a green room, talking shit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you feel almost like dream state, because
Yeah.
you're like, you know, there's such a big act, but
Yeah.
then you're just having drinks. And the
just a
problem is
normal
he
person
doesn't
at the
drink.
end.
It
so
is
I was
just
getting trashed the whole time, and
So
I realised, he's sober, and I am annoying drunk. So it's like,
No,
Is he sober?
yeah, he's sober, and I'm just ranting shit,
Yeah, okay.
saying, trying to, and I had at least 3 riffs that ended to silence.
But you don't want to like. I think
You don't wanna suck hole, and
we
that's
do
what
it
you're
by
good at.
accident, I think, and it's probably a perfect way when we meet people that we're a little.
Oh, mate, I was
like-
fanboying over Swanee big time.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you're the best.
Dude, you know what I realised in the green room? Because initially I thought I have to interact with them.
Yeah.
And then I thought, fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm just do my own thing. Have
Yeah.
drinks, riff in the corner, get a few laughs with whoever's interested in talking to me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, at the end of the day, every arsehole wants something from him. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't really. Because I'm a comic, I only see people as comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's just a funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a funny guy hates a needy fuck.
Well, think
that's
about-
like, oh, man.
You don't want to act like an open micer. When we're in the green room and open
Dude.
mic is like, oh, what's your set about? I'm going to do this joke.
Dude,
Fuck up,
and
leave me
then
alone.
you're
Yeah.
in a
Or
scenario.
just be normal.
You're a pro comic, and you're like, you're or like in footy, you're hassling the captain to try and give you confidence to play your first game.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you gotta just assume your role. You're gonna be a pro. But I must say, man, it's easy to kill for that 10, but you realize the next level is that 90 minutes, and all his premises are long, and you realize like most.
We did 2 hours, didn't you? after
Most
you?
Australian acts.
Really?
Yeah.
Most Australian acts, their premises are like 3 minutes, max 5.
Yeah.
His are like 15.
That's
And I'm
insane.
like, I reckon that's what elevates this comedy. Because we go in, you do your Chinese bad drivers or whatever it is.
I've never done the
No,
joke.
no.
We have spoken.
You do your classic
We
bit.
spoke about it 15 minutes ago.
You do your standard bit, right? Because they've got peripheral, they don't have peripheral vision, and you're like,
You mean you brought up my bit so you could do your bit about
No.
bad drivers?
You know your opener where it's like, toot, toot, toot. You go, what? Toot, toot, toot. You don't have
I can
peripheral
concur. I've
vision.
seen this opener.
Yeah, my
you're like,
classic. Hey guys, what's the deal with Asian
Remember your
drivers?
punchline? No wwonder they're crashing. Their eyes are shut.
No, that's you on the freeway, cunt. That's you on the freeway.
Toot, toot, toot. Your punchlines are others. Toot, toot, toot.
I love how he's being racist through me.
Yeah, anyway.
That's the ultimate play
That's
to
the
do the Chinese. I
you
know
know that-
when you were going.
No, but I'm saying your bit.
I understand.
Your
Yeah,
Chinese
if you've
bit's
got a
like
2
3
minute
minutes,
premise.
whereas he would do it 15 and explore it to the point of where we said it's a cultural difference because they're in a higher populated area, so the traffic's different, and then we think they're rude, but we're actually
I see, yeah.
hillbillies.
But also,
and
he's
then
got
that
the-
would be the exploration of it. So you'd start off with but then you would actually resolve the whole issue, and you'd go, oh, that's actually quite insightful that Chinese would be more pushy on the road when you're driving with a billion people.
Look at him compliment his own premise.
It's a good premise. It's such a good
Actually, quite
premise.
insightful.
Have you crossed the street in Bali? But we would just be like,
Yeah,
the classic
I go,
Perth thing couldn't
excuse
merge.
me.
Yeah, well, in Perth, you'd be like, fucking get off the road. Whereas in
Perth-
Bali, they wait, they stop.
No,
Yeah,
but I'm
or-
saying to you, like,
yeah.
he expands it, and then you realise
Yeah.
the gap between, because I reckon there's only about 10 comics alive that can do.
Well,
2
he's also
hours
got the
well.
privilege of having that reputation where he can do that. He's afforded himself a show where everyone's invested.
Dude,
and
but
they're
he's
gonna
so
listen.
relaxed on stage, man. He sits in that little armchair.
Yeah.
I told him I was going to get in it for my open spot. I said, I'll hop in to do my 7 or 10 minutes. And he was like, don't you fucking go there. But don't you think it'd be good?
Yeah.
You go in his like king's seat.
Just
and
go
be
sit in it and just
"Hey,
go, he
I'm
told me
open
not
for
to
the show."
fucking sit in
have a
here,
chair.
cunt.
Especially me with like a sweaty back. The seat's wet afterwards. You spill a beer down the side.
I'm usually fried by now, Delby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alpha Brain's good.
Alpha Brain's working.
Yeah.
Mate,
Yeah, when I'm laughing at him constantly for an hour, like I feel fucked. I'm feeling
Dude, but the thing is,
Ready to go.
Because he hasn't been that funny. So.
yeah, man, I've been struggling. I reckon,
I've only cried twice.
how would your brain, like, how's that fucking potpourri shit going to improve your brain?
Yeah,
what
well,
does it do?
it's nootropics, isn't it? What does it
Let's
say
not
here?
promote Joe Rogan's shit on our potty.
Yeah, but like, what if
We
they
couldn't beat any more Joe.
What if
Dude, I'd
they
love it if
actually
it-
just
what if they want to sponsor another
sponsor
podcast?
Alpha Brain
Yeah.
on it? Sponsor? Nah, but surely
Oh,
they wouldn't do
mate.
that.
Fuck it. Don't chase it.
But if
Me
Dex
too,
and
Rogan,
Fetterman's want
don't
to
help
sponsor,
him.
if Dex
What's
is
this?
going to sponsor,
Nah,
Dude,
I don't know
imagine, what do you think is in it?
If
We were
aspirin,
laughing about it.
dexamphetamine, sulfate 5 milligram wants to sponsor, I'll be very happy to be.
You just have to see a psychiatrist.
Yeah,
get it
yeah. You
script.
literally have to do that.
I'd literally love a couple of good supplements.
I'd love to know what's in that though, because we were laughing off camera, and if it's just like from his
Just
chicken
Jefferies
coop,
Yes,
it's just some shit, you know, like little chicken shit.
It's
and,
placebo.
and weird
could be.
grain crap.
Could be a bit of a placebo. effect.
When I first had Alpha Brain, I felt real nauseous, so I stopped taking
He
it.
talks absolute shit because it's 100% a placebo.
Yeah.
Where you go, take this pill and you can walk
Now
through
that you
the
say
Chinese
that-
traffic without getting run over.
Now you say that, I'm feeling very drained.
Statistically, the 40% uplift you get is been proven in blind trials that, you know, like even if you do a trial for cancer treatment, that there's, or any medical thing, just people believing in it it gives you recovery by a big percentage.
Isn't that the
that there's the
placebo
magic
effect.
bullet that can fix it? So like,
Isn't
his
a double
stats
blind
fall
placebo
within-
how they measure whether something's effective?
and that's what I'm saying. His stats fall within like the bounds of placebo. Yeah. So you can all these multivitamins, everything is placebo. You go like, this will fix your limp dick, cunt.
So what?
Do you know what I mean? And
What
that's
interest-
like placebo.
What interests me is that we know placebo works. Why isn't there?
There should be just prescription placebos.
Dude,
Because that's the key to the universe, and they don't want those secrets out.
Whoa,
That's honestly
we're
why.
going TikTok viral.
You gotta combine all the clips where Wolfie does that.
We're going TikTok viral. You gotta keep yelling that. Oh, but that's funny, man. If you're medicated and you know you go to a psychiatrist and they just give you sugar pills,
Well, no, but
and,
not
and
even-
suddenly you're
not
like
even that.
normal.
Part of me wants that, but I know that if I go there asking for it, they're going to give it to me, so it kills the placebo effect.
No, but
yes.
that's what I'm saying. Like, not
But
even a placebo.
It'd be medical malpractice, because if they give you shit and then you
No,
just die, they're like,
that-
oh well, we thought it was going to
yeah,
work.
man.
No, but that's not what
You
I'm
should
talking
have
about.
had
Why
chemo.
isn't there actual science going to what is happening with
Well,
the
it's the
placebo?
whole
There's
thing-
no money in placebo.
Well, I know
It's
that-
the whole
yeah,
thing about
I know,
controlling
but-
your thoughts, man. You can self heal.
But if we can all self-heal, like, and I understand, because I spoke to a doctor who was going to prescribe me something for a staph infection, a cut that I got, and I got really badly infected.
self harming after another chat with me.
and he said, he was talking to me about antibiotics and like how there's this certain staph infection that goes around the world that he just wanted to make sure it wasn't that.
Yeah.
That literally kills millions of people a year, and they could put time and effort into getting a cure for this, but instead
Talk about
they
staff cuts.
sorry
No,
they end up putting the effort and the time and effort into actually treatments that you have to have ongoing.
Yeah,
so,
of course.
So like
Yeah, it's money.
antibiotics don't cure, or whatever the insulin doesn't cure. It doesn't cure the disease. It
Dude,
helps.
there's all that research around antidepressants that there's no clinical study outside of that wasn't sponsored by Big Pharma that proves efficacy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And that's not.
so that's the
It's only the
strange.
GlaxoSmithKline study. There's no independent one that validates it.
When you've got my local doctor who knows that, saying that they're literally just putting money and effort into
Dude,
drugs
and
that are ongoing.
And how does it make sense, right, for
prescriptions
mental health
instead of a cure?
To circle back to your depression is a result of environment, like you're doing something that's making you sad.
Yeah.
And then instead of fixing that, just tranquilize so you don't feel it. And you
Yeah.
end up having 2 kids with a psychopath.
But yeah,
Whatever.
Too real?
No, but I'm just saying just put him on heroin, and then he just won't change that he's lying on a mat near a fucking water fountain with the dog. And they're just like, you could medicate anyone to get through anything. Do you know what I mean?
but
Yes.
So
And
it
you
ends
should
up
change your situation
so
to
control.
improve your depression.
So
Yes.
controlling your mind and harnessing the power of the mind, like
And
that would just null and
health,
void the
fitness,
whole.
food.
Dude, depression
None
is
of it at all.
like the oil indicator in your car that you need to change your change something
That's
about
a
your
great
mechanics.
analogy.
Because there's real.
Did you come up with that yourself?
I just made it up, man.
Did you really?
TikTok viral! Dude, I love my videos on TikTok. I hate it.
Yeah.
Because they're too grating.
Yeah.
My personality. It's too loud and abrupt. And
Oh,
I
this
don't-
works perfect.
No, but I don't really listen to you guys. And people find it offensive.
No, it's good.
Do you know, it's like I was watching Karate Kid with Will
Keep
Smith's
talking,
kid.
I'm going for
Will
it.
Smith's kid.
Jaden Smith.
He's such a precocious little fuck.
he's a fucking
And they go, he's such a
dweeb.
good actor. And I'm like, I fucking hate that kid because he had like the swagger of Will.
Yeah.
But he's just lived in his daddy's mansion.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, get this cunt off. Like, we didn't even, I was
Both
watching with
those
my
kids
3-year-old.
are-
I'm like, get him off the screen. He's like, come get some. And then he's trying to hook up with this Asian girl that seems about 4 years older and he's got swag.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, mate. Danny from the original thing was very humble, and you could tell they'd been pulled from a working class situation, and it was a big deal that he was in the movie. This guy
what's his name? Ralph in real life?
Yeah,
Ralph.
Danny, whatever. And I'm like, this guy probably had the biggest trailer on set.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, come get some. I'm like, you're a noob, nobody, and I want you to get beaten by the rival gang.
Cobra Kai.
Dude,
It could be worse. You could have a tattoo of him on your leg.
How bad?
Times two.
How much
Like
bad
Sal.
watching a movie, because I watched it with my 4-year-old, but then it's too much. So all he saw was the kid getting bullied, the shit beaten out of
Turn it
him.
off.
No story arc. So it's just like letting him know occasionally you're going to get bashed by mean people. It didn't have the victory there. The other thing I took both kids to Top
That's
Gun.
a bit there. You should use that on stage.
Dude, and they
about
come
not
out-
finishing movies and the morals wrong.
Dude, and then they never get the story arc where they win. And I'm like, nah, dude, that Asian guy, they win.
Yeah.
And he's like, so occasionally, Dad, I'm going to get bashed for no
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
And I'm like, that sucks. But then it was...
It's like the Titanic. It's like you just hook up with a hot chick and paint her naked.
That's it.
Done.
That's it.
Like,
I took him to Top Gun,
Yeah.
which is... Have you watched
yeah,
Top Gun? The
fucking
new one?
awesome.
It's
bro.
good.
So good.
But second viewing's not as good because that middle hour is just long,
Yeah.
weird, surreal shots of them on bikes,
Yeah.
leaning. They're
Yeah.
sailing for no reason.
Yeah.
But you take your kids and it's good. But what you don't realize is the previews. That fucked me up.
Why?
Because I watched the movie and I said, this is fucking Disney shit. Nothing happens. But then before the movie...
The Top Gun previews or the other
I
movie
took
previews?
my both boys in. I go, Top Gun will be fine. But then we came in time for the previews of other movies and
Yeah.
it was like, haunted dead, raped on the night of her wedding. And I was like, fuck! I'm like, boys, and they're like, what the fuck's this? It was like a Halloween movie or something scary. And I was like, they're dead. The cops is coming. I'm like, fucking hell. I'm trying to like go, boys, popcorn. Let's distract. But they're watching like an R-rated preview.
Yeah.
That's what kills you. Because Top Gun's nothing. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
No
The guy-
titties,
no one even dies.
No deaths. Actually, is there one death?
No,
Yeah,
no,
dies
no,
from
no.
old age.
Don't you fucking ruin-
Iceman dies from old age.
Oh, yeah. And fucking the girl that he was in love with, career died because she got
Dude,
old.
think about it. They're not big twists in there you're not expecting. What do you think happens?
I can't remember.
They
if
get
it's
in a
number one.
plane and they win, man. Come on. What do you think's happening? And then he bangs the girl at the end. Come on.
isn't it
What
funny,
do you
like-
think? It suddenly becomes aliens? It's clouds floating around? It's like they have trauma. They have to do a
Cumulus
mission.
clouds.
Tom Cruise rises to the moment and then they do the unachievable
Take
and then
my
they all
breath away.
hug on the deck of a boat.
Isn't it funny? Like there's
It's fucking the same movie. All movies are like that.
yeah, the whole woke mob will be against that style of like masculine fucking victory and like all
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
and then it comes out and it's one of the biggest grossing movies of the last 4 or 5
Dude,
years.
I love the way that it was just
Military pro USA, like it's
Dude,
so bad to be
dude,
pro USA
they
now.
didn't-
You
no,
know, like,
dude, they didn't even have the rivals look like Darth Vader. They didn't even have nationality on them.
Yeah, they
so they
didn't
could sell it
label
in
them.
China.
Yeah.
And Russia. They've realized like just make it a random person in a mask. Just going, we must fight the
Well,
enemy.
didn't they have it Iran? Wasn't it Iran at the base? Was it Iran? Or
No,
Iraq?
no, they had no
Was it
reference to nationality.
Yeah, right.
And then I was thinking about it. How much damage to the Russians have they done for the last 30 years, always making them the villains?
Always.
And they, like we said, they're probably nice Russians.
Yeah.
And maybe they're under like a tyrannical sort of Putin and shit. But we certainly haven't helped PR by every sort of guy with a gold tooth going, I'll fuck you up. That's not really helping.
James Bond.
Not helping relations.
no,
eh?
100%.
Well, every Russian I met in Bali, I was like, "Where are you from?" And they'd almost be like ashamed. I was like, "Russia." I'm like, "Bro, I don't care if you're
Dude,
from Russia."
I
man.
want a
Like,
movie that
whatever.
flips it. Where the US are the
watch the
villain.
Russian movies.
And the Russians, at the end, you have a Russian family happily going, we defeated them.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you're crying going, I love Russia.
I've-
Those American cunts invaded. You could change the whole narrative
Yeah.
if the US would... if I ever
There
made
are
a movie,
movies
I
like
would
that.
always make the US the villains.
Yeah.
Always.
That's
just
what the
have-
Germans.
Well, but I
That's what
think
the
that's-
Germans did in World War II.
No, that would just be more of a documentary.
Dude, you know what I suddenly realized? Because we've touched on it with TikTok, where you know in China that it's more
Yeah,
positive and it's turned off at 9 o'clock for people under certain ages.
That's so smart.
And it's basically propaganda. It's
Yeah,
what
it is.
Hitler did in World War II. They've attacked the Western democracy and they're just degrading it with idiots dancing and yelling at people in the air at shops
And just tits.
and accusing people.
So
yeah,
dumbing
you know
down the Western society,
Dude,
but then in
it's just
China it's all
propaganda.
education.
It's propaganda,
and
and they're elevating the other, and it's just a basic war tool because they're coming for us.
Yeah.
Mate,
And they're preparing.
This is what, mate. That's what I already think's happened anyway. Like,
And
I
they've
think we
corrupted
said
the
this.
youth.
At least you can talk about Epstein on TikTok. That's all that matters.
Yeah. No, but
You missed it.
and they're actually doing. I missed it, but they're actually.
I think that's the finisher to the
Dude,
clip.
they're actually doing. They're actually doing. Hitting the youth, which is the best move.
What do you mean?
Well, it's a 10-year
Oh,
plan.
not physically hitting them.
And they're just degrading all of Western civilization with this shit show on TikTok.
The future.
This is why this is not. They're not going to like the algorithm's not going to like this.
No.
When I'm talking to you, algorithm, I'm coming for you, bitch.
Al Gore.
No, it's
rhythm.
funny because
No, because this clip is at odds with the whole objective of the AI.
Yeah.
So it's not really going to be a good clip on TikTok.
Anything that we speak about that's China negative
Oh,
or as
dude, but what about
positive.
the driving thing?
Interesting,
They're actually not as
because-
bad as we thought.
interesting because that conspiracy theory that I came up with about China already being in control of everything went really well on Facebook, but terrible on TikTok.
That's right, because TikTok's owned by China.
No, but China.
I think they're already in control. Like, it's not a coincidence that Joe Biden's leveraged by his son being fucked up by China.
Yeah.
China and
there you go.
Ukraine.
That's meth. Is he just trying to fucking be elevated?
No, see, this
Hunter
is
Biden.
this is
Yeah,
the thing.
it's elevated, man. No,
Hunter-
because we were thinking about it. Like, what's better? You win Wimbledon, or you're the chick that had the 6 pints and yelled at. You know, Kyrgios.
Yeah.
Who had a better day? I still reckon
Kyrgios,
12.
he made 1.2 mil.
No, but
He
I'm
made
saying
1.2 mil
what's
and then
better,
partied after.
winning Wimbledon or 8 oxycodons? Let's be honest. If you've done 8 oxycodons, you know it's better than any. Well, I haven't done a lot of that. But what I'm saying to you is, I'm like,
That
the fact
time where you
can,
feel fucked
the
up
fact that
is
you can
more
drop
fun.
a pill is a more elevated experience than winning Wimbledon, which took you 20 years, or you can just drop an oxycodone, have 16 jugs,
And have a
who had a better day?
yeah.
In the moment, maybe later on, you can say, I won Wimbledon, but I guarantee you that woman sitting in the sun yelling at Kyrgios going, I can't believe he can hear me, was feeling good.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's crazy to think in life that you could work your whole career
Work super
or
hard.
to get to the grand final in football, or you could just
was
ring a
just
mate
saying,
and get 2 oxys and go and watch it and have a better time.
However, we are assuming, because we haven't done that feeling of winning a premiership might be better.
No
than
way.
oxys.
No way.
You don't
It's
think?
bullshit.
No, so like
Because it simulates every single drug. The drugs do it better.
But drugs bring on your natural endorphin. Bring on your endorphins artificially. If you feel that same endorphin rush winning a
You'd
flag,
You'd have to talk to someone that run the flag.
So my last game at West Perth, we won, and I was a captain of it.
And you still had a better time on
thinking
mushrooms.
about it, it was fucking awesome. It was great.
But Mad Monday was better.
Oh, Mad Monday was way better.
That's what I'm saying to you.
It was way better.
It's better than winning the cup.
But I think that was
Everyone
part of
knows it.
But that's part of it. That's the like you're excited because fuck, how much better is the beer's going
Well,
to be?
think about this.
How much?
Think about this. You laugh at the meth head.
But
He's winning Wimbledon every day.
The game was.
On a
He's
mat.
also playing an imaginary opponent.
You guys are working, training, doing sit-ups. He wins the cup every 3 hours.
I love this concept of trying to win the grand final. I loved it. I had a good time, but in like hindsight, looking back, like it's just something that happened.
And you know what the problem is?
At the time, it was fucking awesome, but now it's just something. It's just another thing.
It ties into the memory as well. Unless you keep revisiting it, and you got the photo of you with all the boys naked in the shower, whatever you do.
He's right. He's right.
Naked in
There's
the
always
shower,
naked in the
laughing
shower.
at each other's dicks and say, "Oh yeah, Branchy's got a long ear." Whatever you do to celebrate. But I'm saying, unless you keep rubbing that photo every night, it fades like the molestation does.
Yeah, I
and
wonder if
eventually you reach an age where you don't even remember that it was you.
Wolfie.
Because that was that Dwayne Wright, or you know that guy that's an NBA star that's now homeless.
Dwight Howard.
Dwight Howard.
No, not Dwight Howard, but
No,
yeah.
it's Dwight. But he basically says, in many ways now, I don't remember that was me.
Yeah.
He said it feels like a dream or someone else's life.
Yeah.
Like, because he's been homeless for so long. But I'm saying to you, being the AFL, you are the star at that night. But 10 years later, are you? Or are you just a memory?
Yeah.
Just a
Is
memory.
it real?
Even in the moment, like once you've won the game, once the siren's gone, the elation and
I think
stuff,
it lasts for about 1 or 2 minutes.
Dude,
Every
yeah.
flag I've won, it's
'Cause
like 2 minutes after.
even the
Like then the
fans-
song, and then Oh, we want a flag.
Dude, and then you go,
Yeah,
and they
can't
always,
wait to drink piss.
Yeah.
and they always go,
Which I can do without
drugs
that.
rule.
Yeah.
and they have the interview after and go, feel numb, I don't really want to know what to say, and it's because like it's over and you're actually flat. And you're like, I feel all numb about it. It doesn't feel as good as when I had mushrooms in Bali.
So that's true, because Wes Kappa even talked about like the training, the working towards it was fucking like everything that was keeping it going, and then it was done.
And then like,
And
it
then you had
feels
to
out
fight.
of body, and then your life is your pinnacle, and now you're like basically boom, stock market crash.
So we come
Do you know
back.
what I mean? It's over now. You've retired.
So the rule is don't be an elite sportsman because you got nothing but disappointment.
Dude, I'm saying just live a mediocre life.
think
So there's no ups and downs.
I think the
Stay
podcast
flat.
has gone full circle, and we've actually experienced a DMT. In this, we've
Yeah,
come
yeah.
back to the point of like nothing fucking matters.
Dude,
Who cares?
Have you seen this movie like that? Everything always.
No, I'm gonna have to watch
at one
it.
time.
Not
What's
yet.
it called?
Unbelievable, man.
What's it called?
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Okay.
I think.
They disintegrate.
Netflix
It's multiverse.
and-
They disintegrate reality, and then they just experience all of
of it.
existence at once. And the movie just fucking
Where can I find it?
splices.
It's online.
Dude, you can watch it illegally on
Yeah.
Movies 1, 2, 3.
Allegedly.
Okay.
No. Do it. And click through your phone.
No.
You get a few ads.
Fucking do it.
Fucking not allegedly. Do it.
Do you think that
Yeah.
there's a business for a positive counsellor where instead of going with your problems, you go there with your best moment and you keep it alive every week?
Dude, so you go in and go, we won the flag.
Flag, yeah.
And go,
Tell us about it.
heave-ho.
What does
And
it
then-
smell like?
And the psychiatrist has you on the shoulder.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
How did you feel, big boy?
Yeah, do you think
After
there's-
you're a big fucking man?
That's an
man.
episode idea, Wolfie.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Plug your
amazing.
show, cunt.
Yeah.
What?
Don't you
What's
have a
the
show?
What's
Your
that?
show.
Circling the drain?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. No, but I'm saying,
When are you doing circling the drain?
how good is a new pod and video stuff coming? But I'm saying like that is a great idea.
Yeah, just go to a positive counsellor
To
rather than with your problems.
go to someone that just reminds you
Keep
of
your
how
youth
you won,
alive.
the grand
flag
final,
or-
and make you remember it.
Yeah.
Rather than slowly realizing you're selling pink bats.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a real estate agent now?
Yeah.
Do you what?
Do you think there was
can you
people
remember-
would do that?
I would go down.
Just to go,
and they just
call it the
remind you,
happy counsellor or
remember
something.
you, mate.
Yeah, you're the man.
Remember that
You're the
time
best.
you saved that cat from the tree?
Or the guy in the wheelchair, you went back for
and
him.
they just G'd you up.
Do you know what the
And they go,
perfect?
you're a good guy.
Professional hype man.
And they go, like, remember that story? And they just remind you of all your good stuff.
That's that positive reinforcement works better
It's
than
like
negative
a
reinforcement.
life coach, really.
It
Sort of exists. Eh?
The most obvious moment that's ever happened to me in a point where I can particularly remember once it was finished, how it just meant nothing, was an 80-kilometer run.
Yeah.
As soon as I finished, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, well.
Yeah,
like,
damn.
I felt amazing for a second, and I was like, who cares? Who
Yeah.
cares?
You know what's hard? All
Who
right.
cares?
But
Other
to fix your mental health is through action. So just musing about stuff is just futile.
Yeah, but it's kind
You're
of
so
cool.
much-
Let's try an exercise right now, except for your kids being born, you three.
Yep.
Happiest day of your life.
DMT.
Yours?
Oh. Okay, it's one of two things.
Was that not kid being born?
It's the one I remember the most, happiest I've ever been. It's probably mushrooms.
Mushrooms?
Yeah,
Jamal?
baby.
Jamal?
Jamal?
Happiest day?
Jamal, stop listening.
When I got in the flow state and did a really good rap.
Okay.
Oh, Flow State on stage is up there
That's
as
pretty
well.
good. Happiest day of my life was watching Daft Punk on ecstasy.
Yeah, man, this
Allegedly.
is what I'm telling you.
Look at that. 3 out of 4
I'm telling you.
experiences.
And I would like to see someone that won the flag and say, was Mad Monday better? And I bet you it was.
Yeah, that's so strange.
But then maybe they say it's in the glory and aftermath. But I still reckon
Mad
a lot of
Monday-
footy.
Mad Monday's tainted for me
but
because
I'm
it was a pissing down rain. I wore my footy jumper all night, and the next day it smelled like old, smelly, wet clothes,
But-
and I wore it all the next day.
Do you not admit like the
all I
camaraderie of
remember
being in
from
a
Mad
team?
Monday.
Like if you reflect back on being in West Perth,
Yeah.
the best memories didn't really matter about the game. It was when you had the team
Oh,
and you
yeah.
built the
Yeah.
bond,
Mate.
and you were in Thailand for a week, and you probably had a shit season. But I'm like, that is basically actually it was
Making
just
friends.
camaraderie, dude.
Yes. Yeah,
You
no,
had a friend group.
New test. Take away any drug experience. Best day of your life.
Well, I think it was that like flow state
On stage?
But I'm saying like drugs put you in the flow state, and so does booze.
What about you?
maybe I'd say Up and Joke Tour was one of my favourites.
Yeah,
moments,
so mine would.
manifestation.
Yeah,
something
yeah,
we've
yeah,
really
that's
tried
good.
to achieve.
Mine was thinking I made the stateside and then I didn't. But then also Perth Comedy Festival, my solo was fucking. I'm pretty elated. I haven't been that pumped for ages. What about you, Jamal? Other than Flow State, is there another one?
What about getting invited to edit this podcast?
I cried, but for the wrong reasons.
But if I was to say, hey, what's your top 5 worst moments? You'd be able to go bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
This. So why is it
Dude,
that we fucking focus on the negative
think
so
of that
much?
psychology of it all.
Yeah.
That you can gather 100 examples of when you were a victim or you were done hard by or you got ripped off or you deserve something. But you can probably only come up with 2 instances where you were happy or proud, and you don't keep revisiting those and going like, remember when I was like killing in a green room, or I was funny for someone, or I made someone
Christmas
happy.
hard yarns was fucking awesome.
So my happy moments are more when you work hard towards something and you get the
fruit.
Well, we work fucking hard for Up and Joke. I worked hard for that premiership. Like those moments I do appreciate. The things that I remember like hating the most are loss of companions, loss of friends. Like my housemate getting the phone. We're getting a phone call like my housemate had passed away. I never felt anything like that.
Dude, that's a long
ever.
But
like, and it was this feeling of loss. Like I have a different concept on like death and the relationship with death, but it's still like you've lost your mate that you get to do these things with.
Yeah.
And like so the companionship in building something.
Yeah.
But doing it alone, like that 80-kilometer thing doesn't like I
think the loss, because it's so final and complete. Losing a mate, that's gone. You can never re-lose that mate. If you run 80 Ks, you can do that again.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you go to a festival and take shrooms, you can always do that again.
Yeah.
If you've experienced loss or something super traumatic.
Dude, and that's why the grand finals are lost, because you're very unlikely to ever do that again.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a death and a mourning moment.
Yeah.
Because you've got there, but then it's over.
Yeah.
And it's like basically your friend is dead now and you've got to grieve them.
Yeah.
Because maybe you get it twice, but I'm saying like, definitely, I think that's what happens when they retire.
Yeah.
It's just shattering for you because you're mourning your life.
Yeah.
It's all over.
Done.
And then it's like, it's actually, they need massive support at that point. It's
so Mark Hutchings' new business.
No, but I'm saying I do love this idea
100%.
of just focusing on the positives, because it's like you keep watching horror movies and going, I'm scared. Oh, I keep watching sad movies. I keep crying. I'm like, watch a comedy, dickhead.
Yeah.
Watch a fucking feel-good coming-of-age story.
Yeah. 100%.
Do you know, like, why your brain is just continually explaining why you're a victim and why you deserve more.
And that's where we talk about, if you fall out of the wheelchair, you got to get back up yourself.
Dude.
You got to fucking do it yourself.
100%, and it's that idea of they're like, well, why'd this happen to me? And you're like, well, why not you?
Yeah.
You're strong enough to deal with it. You're strong enough to process it.
Yeah.
And maybe this is the making of you.
Yeah. And also, like, on that point, like, any of your mates where you said you can be like 2 or 3 years and then you bail. I've had that with mates that get addicted to gear or whatever.
Yeah.
You try support, and then after a while, it's like, fucking, I'm done. I've got no energy. You got to sort yourself.
Dude, it's a sliding doors moment as well, because the bad moments are basically what make you great.
Yeah.
Like we were saying about the spoiled, privileged kid.
Yeah.
Without the challenges, you can never really discover who you are.
Speaking of sliding
Dude,
doors.
he's listening to such wank. There's not even jokes now. It's coming in.
Through our sliding door.
It sounds like a kitchen tea. It's fucking bad.
Depending on which order you listen to this, our next guest.
Is that you?
We've got to go, man. We should wind it up.
No, you've actually been quite insightful today.
Oh,
really
really?
insightful. You've been good.
I've been watching a lot of Andrew Tate, man.
Fuck. I want to get onto that.
Viral.
Okay, do you want to plug anything, Wolfie? Because you never do.
Stay away from my life. I don't care. Catch me if you can.
This one's coming out next week.
Man, I don't want to plug because
August
10th. Everyone's got the internet.
Today is August 10th.
But you know what I mean? It's sort of like this idea of plugging is this idea that people don't have iPhones and they can't investigate themselves.
But people are lazy, bro.
If you can't find me, then don't. Don't you think?
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Because I don't want you there.
Well, I'll be in Edinburgh, so fucking if you're in Edinburgh, say g'day. If not, Sydney listeners, I got my Fringe show that I need to sell. I got 50 seats, so fucking hopefully some of you can't.
Yeah, well, 15% of our listeners are from Sydney.
Sweet, so we've got 10
You'll find
Sydney
out.
listeners.
You'll find out if it's bots or real.
Yeah. So danieldelby.com for the shows. in Sydney.
Sick.
Sick.
Am I hosting your quiz while you're away?
I'm going to teach.
Sorry, mate. I've got that job now. Sorry, dude.
I'm going to teach my brother how to do it because he needs some money, but
Oh, yeah.
I'll alternate. And
Okay.
see
You'll
whoever's
be all right,
available.
man. There's Centrelink to fall back on.
Centrelink's been very kind to me lately. That's
Oh,
been-
really?
Yeah. You know,
I think they
I
should
haven't
call it-
been there, dude. I've got to go
I
and
didn't
check
realise
that
I can
tent.
get.
It's
I can
called
get
Send a
mon-
Drink, mate. You
I-
just pay your money on
I
your
can get
fucking-
money for having a kid.
Oh,
Like a
really?
single
Fuck.
parent.
Where do I sign up?
Yeah.
Dude, you can actually get a first home grant where you just put a 2% deposit down, but you need sole custody.
I'm not doing that.
Up to 600 grand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Buy yourself a house, mate.
Yeah, I'm all good. All right, cheers. That was
Yeah,
fucking.
you are
Thanks,
on the
Wolfie.
Dolphs or whatever. Yeah, cool.
Cheers, cunt.